Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of the Odd Experience podcast. Today I'm joined by myself, Theo Ivalor Chapman, spell it right, and I'm joined with Isaac Hannon and
Cameron Ryan.
We're all in year 12, we all go to Elstree. It's a good time.
It's a good time, isn't it?
We're excluding Charlie.
Okay, that's fine. Yep, that's
Charlie's here just for moral support.
Might have forgotten to introduce.
If we have nothing to say, we can just take the piss out of his ginger hair.
exactly. That's the
It's
reason.
like a £3 perm.
That's the reason why I do up my podcast. So.
Exactly.
So this episode is my instalment of the Odd Experience
So middle
podcast.
class.
Shut up.
Why by a Tory?
And my episode
Shut up.
is about interesting stories that have happened to all of us in the past or the future. You know, you might be a time traveller. I have no idea.
We don't know who's listening.
We don't know what Cameron gets onto. We might have to bleep that. I don't know. Don't know about that one.
Oh,
We
well.
know this.
Alright, he's going to go first.
We're just gonna get straight into it, guys. I'm gonna try and make this as unscripted as possible. But Cameron is gonna go first. He's got an interesting story, and we don't know what it is. We don't know what he is either.
I don't know what I am.
This is
Or a man, hopefully.
No, it's just life
any
stories.
story.
When Theo asked me, the first one I thought of was my first year when I was at secondary school. You know how every year they do like leaver school pranks?
Yeah.
Well, basically these kids took it a bit too far, and it was quite funny, and it ended up with an ambulance, a policeman, and 3 fire trucks. A fire truck and 2 cars.
That's just a normal pie.
Exactly.
That's just how the day in the life of a private school education. Now,
Shut
that's
up.
me.
Someone's got a butter knife. Anyway,
I'm gonna indulge in
Father
that story.
didn't let me buy something on father's credit card. And
social services. But no. Basically, what these kids thought would be funny to do was steal some sheep from the farm next to our
I
school.
rate that.
Yeah, I know, right? And they got a bucket of red paint, and they painted 1, 2,
3.
and 4,
Oh, they missed that
And-
3.
and let them round the school. Now, slowly by slowly, they were tracking down the sheep, and if you find 3 sheep with the numbers 1, 2, and 4 on there, what do you assume?
There's 3.
There's a number 3, isn't there?
That is genius.
Yeah.
Oh my
That
god.
is incredible.
That
So
is
we
so
had
cool.
police officers and fucking what are they called, firemen. I can't say that, can I? And firemen just walking around our school trying to find a sheep that doesn't exist.
Oh my god.
And they were just sitting there laughing their heads off, just waiting for people to realise.
There ain't no way.
that is like the amount of thought that went into that. That is
Yeah.
so cool.
I'm sorry, if you got caught for that, if I was a headmaster, I'd go ratings.
Give a firm handshake about it. Right.
Handshake.
Pogchamp, boys.
Well done, boys. Well done.
I'll give you a surely 10 out of 10.
Oh,
So what do you think? Do you think that's...
That
have
was
you
incredible.
heard any better school prank stories?
to be honest, that is pretty top notch.
That is
I have
top
to
notch.
say.
Like my ones when what happened at my old school, yeah. Literally, it was just eggs, smoke bombs, and then some kid would jump off like one of those buildings. And
What?
yeah,
off a building,
Some kid
die.
would just kill himself at the end of the year. Nothing big. What do
It's a
you
sacrifice.
mean?
It's a human
exactly.
sacrifice.
To make sure next year's harvest was good.
one time we did have a guy, because my old school had like a massive field. It used to be public, so you have a school, and then like anyone could come in on the field.
What, so
And
you just got a
Oh.
50-year-old
Yeah,
guy called
50-year-old
John
Basically.
petting on
yeah,
him?
and then these guys, yeah, they had their bikes, and they were just like motorbikes, just biking up and on it.
I know what
yeah,
you mean.
and then the teachers came out and went, "You guys can't be on here," and they just drove into them because,
They just ran into the
them over.
They just killed them.
and it was just one of those things where you're like, "Oh, all right then."
Cool. Yeah, I don't get that, because our school we used to see this thing called the Nicky line, like the death line, sorry,
that does not
which
sound
is
good.
where it used to be an old train station, an old train track, and it used to be a mile long, nearly exact. So we'd have to try and run that, and they'd time us. But it went out of school grounds, and obviously there's no teachers there, so people would do whatever the they want.
Same.
Exactly. However, it had to get closed down because there used to be a man in a dressing gown that would flash kids, and you have to throw your shoe at him to get rid of him.
What?
Yeah.
What?
This is when 2000s.
Marky.
This wasn't market. This was Harpenden. This is like
This is
middle class
posh.
London. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the centre of spiffing.
Mother, I saw a man's wiener today while running.
Well done, Timothy.
Timothy, well done. What did you think about it? I didn't really like it.
Well, you're not a are you?
Oh my god. I've been to 2 secondary schools, and my first secondary school was a public school. I know. Imagine that. My second
Theo Ivan.
Theo Ivan Chapman III went to a public school.
He must have been.
My first secondary school was quite the on, and my school was not really known as the best school in St Albans, and it used to be the one of the best
A
public
school
schools.
in St Albans not being the best is probably like pretty good.
I can't believe it's not butter.
It used to be really well respected as a school, and then it just went downhill for some reason. I think it was genuinely my year, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard down the grapevine of many people in that upper year, like not my year. It was like I was in year 8 at the time, and then I heard about a bunch of year 11s doing their like leavers stuff, the lever pranks that you're talking about, and I don't know how true this is, but apparently some like maybe it was lower 6th, but some year 11s got hold of the waters of the school's water supply, and they got some laxatives, and they just shoved it all.
This
down
is
the
just
school's
very
water
much
supply.
American. What's that?
American Vandal.
American Vandal.
Yeah,
They base it on that school.
Well, so whenever anyone fancied a refreshment, they'd just start
yeah. So I
themselves.
never touched the school's water fountains
Again.
like ever, and everyone always steer clear of them because apparently there might still be some laxatives in there. And I don't think I was at the school when it happened, but like loads of year 11s were talking about it because I think it was the year 13s that had just left that like did it originally, and it was just amazing to think that like loads of year 7s just out their kidneys just all in one day. I don't know if it's true though. It doesn't sound true.
It just sounds like.
Imagine that about 80 kids coming home with accidents, and then you got like the mum's Facebook page, and they're all
What
just
about
going
their all
mental.
accidents? All the kids are
Your mum's
accidents.
like, well,
The kids
you know
are
what,
accidents.
mate? I thought you'd have done it sooner. Shit yourself at school.
Right, so was that like your school's big thing?
No, it was my first secondary school's big thing. I don't think my private school had a big thing.
private school.
Private schools. Private schools.
darling.
Iran.
Private schools, Brian.
I can't even walk.
I don't. My year in my second secondary school was quite rebellious in terms of like we didn't listen to the
Oh,
teachers.
they did not listen.
As in like
When
no,
they told you to open your books, you had opened it 5 minutes later.
Spiffing hell.
If they said our detention, they said, Father shall hear about this, and he shall have your head
Draw his
on this
donation
dock."
to the school.
You see this? See this head? It'll be on my desk by
See
the
this
morning.
maths block? The Theo Ivalor maths block. I can take it the same way I gave it.
Story time.
Mr. Hannon the Cannon has got a story.
So this was in year 10.
Oh,
Year 10.
Try not to.
year 10
interrupt
Isaac.
Right, basically, yeah. Can I not have any interruptions?
No
If you think-
interruptions.
If you think something's super funny, I don't care. So it was year 10. I was in English, just casually studying for my GCSEs, and then the school's fire alarm went off. So we all we had to go up and go outside, and I was in the toilet at the time. I was in an English lesson, but I was in the toilet, and I had I had diarrhea.
So you drunk from the water fountain?
Yes,
from
I drunk from Theo's water fountain, and
Theo's water fountain.
My private water fountain.
I didn't really feel comfortable with leaving, so I stayed in there. Then once I had cleaned up, I was walking around the maths block, and what caught my eye was 2 teachers. I'm not going to say their names in case they somehow find this, because one of them might kill me.
Oh. Shank.
It was a maths teacher who was very scary, and a English teacher who's quite the opposite, very nice. And they were going at each other. And so, me being me, I took a Snapchat of it and put it on my story. The next day, I come in at 8:30, and I get crowded
Uh-oh.
by about 8 teachers,
Oh no.
including the head,
The teacher.
2 deputies, and just and the 2 teachers that were going at each other, and just loads of other ones. And they were like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah. We saw a Snapchat," and then they got
How do they see
Which
it?
one of them follows you?
because someone snitched.
Oh, of course. Why?
Stooges get stitches!
I don't understand why
Stitches
you
get stitches.
snitched. What kind of neek was following you?
It was actually one of my closest friends.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they kind of snaked me out. Well, no, I obviously didn't like them anymore,
Oh,
but
okay.
they were one of my closest friends. And then
Hate to see it.
I kind of got suspended for a week.
Because of that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty understandable.
Yeah,
I would-
kind of me.
It's their fault. They shouldn't be.
Oh no,
Fucking
fire
they're just
alarm! Come
making
on.
out. Yeah, my story, my little one, just it's a bit like Isaac's. My friend we made salad spoons sort of things. So my teacher, Mr. Liberton. What happened was my friend walks in there to go because he said he was going to laser cut them out for him because he designed it.
Laser cut him out.
And basically my friend walks in and I'm not going to say his name, but he was
Oh my God.
yeah, was shirtless, laying on one of the benches, like the things that you work on, like a workstation, and had his top off, right, shirtless. And Mr. Liberton was just had one knee on his
You're
back
gay?
and was giving him a back.
Oh my god.
You're gay.
Here's a question for you: has any one of you experienced a stink bomb at your school?
Yep.
Yeah.
Too many to count
I
in
set
both
them off.
schools.
Stink.
In private school.
In both schools.
In private school,
I
it's
know.
stink bombs.
I know.
I used to set them off in the maths, and they'd line everyone up before we went into maths, and me and my mates would just.
They smell absolutely rancid.
That's how you get out of a maths exam, isn't it?
We used to put, you know what fun snaps are?
Yes.
Yeah, we used to put them in teachers' shoes and shit.
To be fair, I've got a story about that. So
Go on.
I have a story about. So I had a maths teacher in my old school, and her name was Miss Ollies. I don't care if she's not gonna find it. Yeah. So and she was Canadian. Yeah. And there's a kid at school who used to go to my old school called Ethan McGann. Yeah. And them two didn't get on. Let's just say that they had more arguments than anything. Like literally. So I'm gonna talk about one time. This one doesn't include Ethan, but the first one, yeah. So we walk into maths. We're all sitting down, and me and Ethan, we sit right at the front, right next to her desk, yeah. And Ethan just starts moaning because he says he can't do his work because there's a fly in the room. Yeah?
Oh my god.
There's a fly in the room. This is a big fly. I'm gonna, yeah, it's a big fly. It's flying around the room. So she went, "You got to do your work, Ethan," in her Canadian accent. Does anyone want to say it in the Canadian accent?
I can't
Gotta
do
do
it.
your
Just
work.
get this footed here.
Yeah. And then literally like, and then he was like, "I can't do it because there's a fly in the room." So she thought, "I'll get rid of the fly for you." So it was sitting on a window. So she got on the desk right in front of us and hit it,
Oh my god.
and she missed. Yeah,
Just
first
break
time.
the window.
Bloody missed. Bloody missed.
Ah,
And
bloody
then
Yoso teacher.
she jumped back down because it was flying. So she was following it round. So she was all there looking for it in the eyes. And then she went to hit it again. But this time she forgot that there was a chair in the way.
Oh no.
So she fell straight over that chair
Oh.
and onto her side. So being Miss Ollie, she has a real bad temper issue. She has the chair and goes, "Oh my god!" and throws the chair across the room. So literally all of us are like, "What's going on?" Yeah.
The student isn't the shooter this
Yeah.
time.
And then she's like, what? Yeah. So she's chasing after this fly, yeah? Keeps hitting it, missing, yeah? And then she opens the door, keeps hitting it, it flies out of the... It flies out of the door, so you're thinking, "Oh, it's over now." Nah, she chases after it.
Oh my god.
She runs out of the door and just chases it until we all lose it. So we all go outside. See, she's literally running around the maths block just trying to hit this fly.
It's
Yeah.
about principles now.
I mean, yeah,
the fly
effort.
disrespected
The
her.
fly with me, I will with it.
Exactly.
And it's just incredible because that's not the only fight she's had in her school. Yeah, she's had a fight with a fly and lost. Yeah, she lost that fight.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
she had a fight with a chair.
Died.
She had a fight with a chair. Her dress got stuck to the chair, and she was trying to pull off it. Yeah, and she fell for a table, like on a table. Yeah, she lost the fight to that chair.
How is she a
Yeah,
teacher?
and do you know the best part? She literally. So me and Ethan were pissing about, yeah, and she grabbed Ethan's arm and gave him a Chinese burn and went, "Grrr! Don't mess with me. I've got my angry eyes on now." Actual words.
Oh my god.
Actual words she says.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
And she always used to put her finger on her lips and goes, "I am waiting now."
Oh yeah.
Oh, so many teachers did that.
I
Yeah.
am waiting, but she would she'd have her proper
Yeah.
and she looks like her head might explode. It's like,
I've got all day. I can wait here.
One of my teachers used to do that, but she'd just sit there in silence until everyone stopped talking. Class did not give a shit. We spent an entire two period math lesson just chatting
Having
and
a
listening
chat.
to music.
We had
She
to-
was standing there like,
We had this math teacher who he was called Mr. Liberton as well.
Oh.
He would be like that, but he would always put his arm up against the wall so you could see his
Musky
armpit, and it was always leaking with sweat.
Oh,
it was
oh,
horrible.
teacher like that.
So one day he wore a grey shirt. I don't know why.
Oh no.
And I because I used to be kind of cool. I was and my crush was sitting next to me.
Oh, who's your crush? What's her name? What's her name?
No, I ain't gonna say
Excuse
'cause
me.
I hate her.
Could have been a him.
But,
Could have been him.
Could have been him. Yeah.
It could have been a
But it
pot or
wasn't.
pan if he pansexual.
But so I started talking to the whole class, and then he was like, Isaac shush, and I was like, okay. And I started talking again, and then the whole class just erupted and started talking because they just did not care what he was saying. So he just went and put his arm. It was the most disgusting sight. It was like a big puddle under his arm, and then you had about 4 or 5 drip lines going from his armpit to his waist. It was disgusting, and it was on both sides. It wasn't just on one.
Jesus.
Symmetrical.
It was horrible. It was actually horrible.
Imagine that guy,
Yeah.
maybe twice the size, with bicycle shorts on, a shirt and tie, in the summer, might I add, with sweat stains on his back, sweat stains under his arms, sweat stains around his neck, and because he has bicycle shorts on and it's the summer, get very sticky and they get very tight on you, don't they?
Yeah.
Gross.
So imagine this guy walking around tie shirt and bicycle shorts, showing. This was my deputy head. Walking around. This guy, Jesus Christ, he used to make us do drills in PE. He'd just scream. He hated my mate because his dad kicked him off the local football team for being too fat. Yeah. I'll try and find it now.
Well, so the
I can show you
podcast
a
people
video.
can see what you're pulling up.
Also, there was one time. Do you remember PE and people used to steal your stuff in PE?
Yeah.
Yeah. I one time left all my stuff in PE, so I went, I'm gonna run back in there, yeah. Get it before people steal it,
Yeah.
yeah. I walk in there and there's 2 girls macking off in the boys' changing rooms.
In the boys' changing
In the
room.
boys' changing rooms.
One more story.
One more story.
One more story, then we'll probably wrap it
So
up.
we used to go to the gym for PE. It was a local gym that was 2 minutes, 5 minutes away.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, we
it-
did that as well.
It
on
was
our
until
private
this
education.
happened.
Oh.
So we had this teacher
The run round PE.
called Mr. Walker, and he would always take us to the gym, and he would always just sit on his phone while everyone worked out. So we went there and it was packed, it was horrible, So I just sat on one machine, and of course you had the squat racks, and of course you always have people doing squats. But there was this girl who was wearing really tight shorts.
Ooh.
I remember going up to Mr. Walker and asking when we were leaving, and as I was approaching him, I saw him not only filming her, but also just gently rubbing his cock.
Cook. It's PG.
It's
we didn't say-
peanut.
No, cook.
His hot nuts.
His sausage.
Alright, should we
Right.
how are we
Gonna
gonna wrap
end
it
it there?
up? How do we wrap it up?
If any of you are listening to this that don't know us, I hope you enjoy this, and if you want us to make more, then we will. But there will be 2 more episodes coming after this. One of them will be Cameron's episode, one of them will be Isaac's episode. So look forward to them. This has been Theo Ivor Chapman III, Charlie, Cameron, Isaac. It's been a pleasure.
Everyone go follow
It
Niall
really
Beckwith
has.
YouTube channel.
Make sure
watch
you
our
follow
podcast.
us on
Oh,
Can we
yes,
not
Twitter.
forget?
It's
Can we
in the
not
link.
forget the sound man, please?
Yeah.
Everyone-
Can we get a round of applause for Niall for not doing anything? For ruining the podcast.
As well, everyone go
Listening to
subscribe to
Tesla
Niall
Radio.
Beckwith and watch the
and
Leftovers
telling us these
podcast.
stories can't be kept
Sorry,
in.
what was
What a
that?
laugh. Anyway, follow us on all of our social medias.
Links in the
It's on
description.
Twitter at OddcastT, at
Links in
OddcastC, and iOddcast because Isaac's trying to be extra.
Links in description.
Check
the
out.
name was taken.
How is he taken?
I don't know.
Anyway,
And,
make sure you go check out the websites, check out the channel, subscribe, like and share. And Charlie, go check out the Leftovers podcast, our sister podcast, because
And make sure you send me money on PayPal, please.
and I have an OnlyFans if anyone's
Oh my god.